Well, hi guys, and welcome back to the Stoop Tea. So I'm your co-host Rosa and Liz.
And I'm your other co-host, Liz Santana. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome, guys. And if you guys are listening or if you guys are watching us on our YouTube channel, you notice we have like our Christmas decorations still.
That's because Hispanics celebrate Christmas 6 months out of the year.
I know. I mean, I don't even want to take mine down. I feel like I'm still in the Christmas spirit. Like there
True,
wasn't enough
especially
time to enjoy it.
on the 4th of July, let's just decorate it red, white, and blue.
That works for me. But anyway, guys, so for today's episode, we actually got another letter from a listener.
I'm excited about this topic because this is an interesting little juicy topic over here.
And we understand if you guys want to remain anonymous, like totally understand. But I do appreciate you guys sending our letter and wanting our advice. Know that we're not professional like advice givers, we're not therapists or anything. We're just two girls over here trying to get the tea, trying to get the scoop. We're just here to listen and give you our advice from our perspective. Because I know sometimes people just need like a third person's perspective, like someone that doesn't know them or anything. And yeah, and I know that our listener that wrote this letter mentioned that. But let's get right to it. Do you want me to read
Yes,
it? Do you want to read it?
I'll read it. Hey, ladies, I was hoping to get some advice on an issue I'm having with my boyfriend. I have asked some of my close friends for advice, and their advice is good, but I wanted to get some outside advice from people who don't know me personally. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years now, and I'm ready to take our relationship to the next level. In parentheses, marriage. He's been telling me that I'm pressuring him into marriage instead of letting it happen naturally, and I personally don't think it's pressure. I think it's me expressing to him what I want out of our relationship. I am also telling him my goal. Do you ladies think I am pressuring him? Am I doing something wrong? He's also told me that he doesn't think that I am not equipped with enough sexual experience to keep him monogamous, which he left me confused on this. What exactly do you think he meant by this? Any advice is greatly appreciated. Warm regards, Anonymous. So, Rosa, I'm gonna let you take this one for a little bit because I really gotta think on my response on this one.
I almost wish I had you here like in person because I have so many questions. But I'm assuming that at some point when you guys were dating or in these 3 years of being together, you guys have had the marriage talk, or at least know that ultimately you being in a relationship with him, you ultimately want it to lead to marriage. I wish I knew like if that was a conversation you guys had when you guys were dating, or if this is something that you brought on now because you've been waiting for 3 years and you're thinking, is he thinking about it or not? Because that's what you want next. I don't think there's anything wrong with you bringing it up because you guys have been together for 3 years and you just want to know, like, where do we stand? Where is this relationship going from here? Because you ultimately want it to lead to something and you want to build a family, a future with this guy. However, him saying that you're pressuring him and then him telling you that he doesn't think that you could keep him monogamous is a red flag for me.
As a woman, we could say, I mean, I know I could safely say that if I'm in a relationship for 3 years and I don't want to say wasted my time, but I have dedicated my time to this person for 3 years. The ultimate goal is to, right? Like, I love this person. And if I'm telling this person about marriage and telling them that I want to get married or, trying to talk about it, then I'm going to go ahead and assume that she very much loves her partner or her boyfriend. So I think that's developed throughout time. It's not something like, I mean, maybe she did go into this relationship wanting marriage, but of course, like if she's been with him for 3 years and they've been boyfriend and girlfriend, and she's like, I'm ready to move on to the next level. I think this was something that kind of like has come, like it's these feelings have evolved as the relationship has evolved.
No, of course, but there's times where when people are dating, they don't say right off the bat when they're dating, "Oh, I want to get married and have kids," because they're afraid that, "Oh, if I say this too soon, he's going to think I'm crazy or that I'm just looking for marriage and leave me." There's some people that say it straight off the bat when they're dating, like, oh, I want to get married one day. And that's not nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with you guys talking about these things when you guys are first dating. Now, being together for 3 years, obviously, like, some people, it's like an unspoken rule. Like, you figure, oh yeah, we've been together for 3 years. We're just, the next step is marriage and then kids and then blah, blah, blah. But we're living in a day and age now that it's not the norm. It's not like before. Times have changed. People are different. Some people live together for years and don't want to get
Yeah,
married
and don't
to
want to
each
get married.
other.
Right,
It
right.
just works for them. And that's okay, but it works for both of them. It's
Well,
not something that works for, like, she's not okay with not being married, but
and he's
he
okay with,
is. It seems
right.
like he is. And it seems, I'm sorry to say, it seems like he may be looking at options or other options.
I mean, I have to say that that's kind of what it sounded like to me when I read the last part to the letter. But quickly going back to what you said, like it's not the norm to talk about it anymore. Well, I really think that as young people nowadays, because it still exists, it's still something that us women and sometimes even men want. So I think that it should be a trend instead of making it a trend to not talk about it. It should be a trend to talk about it, especially when you're getting to know someone, when you're going into a relationship, because this way, when you slap him 3 years down the line with the "I want to get married," is not a surprise to him that this was your ultimate goal, or to her this was your ultimate goal. You know what I mean? I think that it needs to be normalized to talk about marriage and to talk about how you feel about marriage and in a relationship, even at the beginning of a relationship, because it's important to know what you guys' ultimate goals are. Because let's say, for example, God forbid, right? This doesn't work out between her and her boyfriend. Now she's literally just spent 3 years with this person that has ultimately that has ultimately different ideas and different goals than what she has. You know what I mean? You can't get those this time back now. And you can't turn time back, and you can't do anything now. Now you just have to find a way to move forward. And it kind of sucks that this is what it is. So,
Yeah. If you're going to be with this person for the rest of your life, you have to be comfortable talking to them about anything. I mean,
right, right.
I understand, like, when you're first dating, you don't want to get into the full conversations, but eventually you're going to have to. And if it's marriage is a very important thing, it's something that if you want marriage, if you want to get married, you better know that the person that you are dating and planning to spend a couple of years with or the rest of your life with, they have to meet you on this. They have to be on the same page with that. There's a lot of girls that date guys that say, guys that will literally say, I don't want to get married. And girls will be like, oh, I'm going to change him. They're like, I don't want to get married either. But internally, you do. And it's like you're lying to yourself by saying
Right.
that.
Thinking that you're gonna change him. But girl,
Exactly. And you're just setting yourself up for failure. You have to be able to talk to this person that's going to be your partner. If you can't talk to them, who else are you going to talk to? This is another story. Let's say that she did always tell him that she wanted to get married and he's the one that kept leading her on and saying, "Yeah, of course, then that's a different story." Then right now he's basically telling you by saying that he's being pressured after 3 years, he still doesn't know if he wants to marry you. And if
right.
he's saying that he's pressured now, I can bet you that most likely 5 years from now, he's going to be telling you the same thing. And that's not something that you want at all. Like, you want the marriage, you're ready to move on, you're ready to take the next steps of your life. I think this is something that you guys just need to sit down together and have that conversation.
Well, I
You,
think here's the thing. Like they sat down and had this conversation. And this is like clearly like she's telling him, like, look, I'm ready to move on to the next level. And he's basically like, it sounds to me what it sounds like, and he's like, nah, I'm not ready. And it kind of seems like she's since she may love him and she's not ready to move on. So she's kind of like sticking around, and she's like kind of like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready. I want to do this. I want to do this. This is what I want. And she kind of like keeps maybe repeating herself to him. And that's why he's telling her, like, yo, like I'm starting to feel the pressure. So I want to say to her, like, if that's his response, in my personal opinion is he's not ready. He's not ready. He don't want it right now. And if you want it right now and he doesn't, then I think it's time to think about what's your next move, maybe without him. You know what I mean? Just like you want him to respect how you feel and your wishes and what you want, you should respect his, in the sense of, because you may love him or whatever and you want him to be your husband, you shouldn't push him to do something that you may regret later. Also, because the second part to your letter says he doesn't think you're sexually equipped to. So I just got to refer back to this because this was crazy. This is something that I was like, what?
Yeah.
Um, she says he also told me that he doesn't think that I am not equipped with enough sexual experience to keep him monogamous, which left me confused on this. First of all, the only thing that may confuse you is the word monogamous. Like, first, monogamy is basically you being dedicated to one specific person. And him telling you that he doesn't think that you're sexually equipped with enough, I mean, he doesn't think that you're equipped with enough sexual experience. I mean, that within itself tells you, first of all, if you're not sexually experienced enough for him to stay monogamous to you, that means to me, if I'm reading between the lines properly, he's not faithful to you right now. He doesn't plan on being faithful to you because you're not satisfying him sexually. And that's just it. Maybe that's the reason why he doesn't want to marry you, because he can easily see himself cheating on you and he doesn't want to do that. He's with you, he may care about you or whatever, but he doesn't want to marry you.
And like, sorry to be so harsh about it. And I don't want you to basically, we're not going to tell you what we think you want to hear. We're really going to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
we have to be real with you because I mean,
And this is like us being your friend. Like, we're not professionals, we're not therapists. This is just us reading your letter, and this is what we're interpreting, and the advice we're giving you is advice that we would give to our close friend. Marriage is between two people. Marriage is a monogamous relationship
hmm,
between two people forever or for a very long time. By hearing that, I know that you internally might have felt insecure or affected. Like, if I hear that, I know that me in the past, my younger self, if it was someone that I love saying that to me, I would feel very what's the word I'm trying to say? I would be very self-conscious about hearing that. And that's not going to help the situation, because it's okay to have problems in the bedroom. Everyone has it, whether you've been married for a year or for 20 years. There's going to be a time where you're not going to feel like you want to have sex with this person, or one's going to want sex and the other one isn't. It's just part of life. It happens. But as a couple, you guys discuss it or you make it work, and
right,
it's between the both of you. It's not like, oh, you're not working for me right now, so I'm not going to talk to you about it or how we can fix this. I'm going to go ahead and find someone else that can take care of my problem for now. And that's
right, right.
not what a marriage is. That's bringing a third person into this.
If you care about somebody, like if I'm a man and I care about someone, I don't think I would have the heart to say something like that to the person that I care about. Like, I would actually try to be more, I don't fragile with my word choice. I would be more careful with my word choice, better said.
But he's being honest. If
I
he's
mean, I respect the honesty. Don't get me wrong. I respect the honesty, but
It's
w-
just not what you want. It's
no,
not
like
what's
that's
working
not,
for you.
that's
Listen,
something that would tear anybody down because I mean, it's
yeah.
like telling a man that he doesn't function in the bedroom properly. Like that. It's just it's the same thing. Same thing. There's no double standard there. It's the same thing. So it's like, I don't know, like, and I honestly, like, I want to throw it a little bit on him too, because if this is how you felt and this is if you knew this is how you felt, why would you continue with this person Or why would you string her along the way he has to then drop the bomb like that? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? When she asks, like, clearly she loves him and she wants to move on to the next level with him, and he waited for that moment to be like, "Nah." Him being faithful with a comment like that. You know what I mean?
It seems also like he might have a list of things that he doesn't like about you, and maybe sexual, even if he hasn't cheated yet or anything, that is something that's been on his mind. And obviously he's been thinking about it because he brought it up. And I just feel you said you were confused by it. So I'm assuming it's the first time he's brought it up to you.
Yeah.
And you just don't need to feel that way. I know what you're feeling. I think you're feeling very insecure. You're feeling like you're not good enough, and that's not true. For him to have been holding on to you for 3 years shows that obviously
There's something there that he
there's
might have.
something there, he cares, but whatever is he whatever he's dealing with, you're ready to move on to the next step, he's not. There's something within him that feels like he needs to maybe explore other options, unfortunately. Like maybe there's something he's looking for. There's something that he needs that he hasn't found. He hasn't evolved himself. So that's why he's not ready to take the next step. And that's not what you want. And you don't need to be holding his hand while he figures it out. You need to put your foot down and say, as much as it hurts, I
You need to be
understand.
strong enough basically and just walk
Yeah,
away.
as much as it may hurt, you need to be strong enough to say, I have to think about myself and I have to think about what I want. And, if you're not ready, I understand, but I'm going to let you go and you should let me go so that I'm able to find it, because
Right.
you never know. Like, if you guys are meant to be, you'll circle back and find each other again. But if you're meant to be, when you circle back and find each other again, he's going to be ready to give you what you want. You guys are going to be on the same page, or you're going to move on and realize that, okay, he wasn't the right guy for me. I don't want that. And find someone else that you do.
Well, let me say something. Like, one of my very close friends, he's a guy, and he has told me in previous times, like, a man knows within the first 2 weeks of meeting a woman where exactly he wants this relationship to go. I don't know how much truth is behind that, but I do feel like when a man meets a woman, if he wants something serious, and I've seen like comments that even men have wrote on like Instagram, for example, if he wants to be with you, he will make the time. If he wants something serious with you, he will make it happen. And I've seen men write that, men. So it's not only from a female's perspective, it's from a man's perspective as well. When a person wants to be with you, a person wants to make time for you, a person wants to marry you, a person wants, when they want those things, you won't have to ask for them and you won't have to pressure anyone or feel like you're pressuring anybody to do it or to get it done. So if you have to beg, plead, and push your partner to do something like that, that person is clearly not ready. That's not what they want. And you're going to end up like, if that person ends up doing what you want them to do, they're going to end up later resenting you. So I think it's time for you to sit down and really reevaluate your relationship with this person and really think about what exactly you want out of life itself, because it's not with him. You know what you want, you know what you're ready for. He's not it and he's not ready. Don't pressure him, don't push this no more. I think it's about time to just walk away.
Now it's time for you to be selfish and worry about yourself and think about yourself and do things for you.
And let's just assume that her close friends gave her the same advice. It's not what she wants to hear. She's looking for someone else. She's looking for some other
You're
advice.
looking for that little piece of hope
Right,
that
right. And
tells you, "Oh, it's okay. It's gonna just wait it out." But you don't wanna be there for 10 years and still
wait
on the
it
same
out.
boat, because that's time wasted that you're not gonna get back. It's better for you to focus on yourself, and like I said, if he's meant to be, he'll come back. Sometimes, we can't cater to men or appease to their needs all the time, because at some point they're going to just be like, oh, I can do whatever I want and she's always going to be there. You have to put your
Mm,
foot down and
facts.
you have to respect yourself.
But Rosa, let's not forget, like as a woman, we've been through it. Like it's hard to walk away from someone you love. It is so easier. It's so much easier said than done.
Listen, it's hard at first and you're going to cry, you're going to be sad, you're going to be depressed. You're going to girl, you're going to lose some weight cuz that's what happens when you go through a
It
breakup.
is good.
but it'll like I've noticed that it happens this way and I've heard guys literally say this. Basically, at first, it's going to hurt you and it's going to take you a little bit to get yourself back up. With guys, it works the opposite. Like once you're done with him or you guys break up, he's going to go on his little sexual journey and explore not being monogamous. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's what he's going to do. He's going to be single, he's going to do what
If
he
he's
has to
not
do.
already.
And then most likely 6 months down the line, he's going to be calling you back
Mm-hmm.
because men usually process their breakup grief much later
He'll call
than
you back when you've already moved on.
even if you're
It's just
still
that simple.
single, you're gonna realize that you're better off without having him in your life.
I can't tell you how many people have left year long, like relationships that have lasted them years without having any children or anything. And they move into the next one, and within a year, they're married and pregnant. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
what it is. It is what it is. People, you will know. You will know. You will immediately know. I'm playing devil's advocate here, and I feel what you're saying. You gotta find the strength to walk away. But at the same time, I'm putting myself in her shoes, and she's like, "No, I love like I'm gonna put myself in her shoes, and I'm gonna get into character, and I'm gonna say no. Like it's not that easy. Like you're telling me to leave him, but it's not that easy. I've spent 3 years with him. I love him, and I don't see myself leaving him. Like, this is the man that I want to be with. So you're telling me to just up and go, but how do I do that? You know what I mean? Like how do I go?
Well, I don't know her personal situation. Like, I don't know if she lives with him. I'm not sure what their situation is like. You just have to think about what you want and you see what you want is to get married. What you want is a monogamous relationship and those are things he's not willing to give to you right now or ever. And you have to realize that your wants and your needs come first, especially right now. You're not tied down to this man. You don't have to put up with what his selfish needs are right now. This is something that should be non-negotiable. Having an open relationship, you don't want that. Letting him sleep around with other girls, you don't want that. Having a three-way or whatever, you don't want that. You want marriage. This is why you wrote us your letter because you want a relationship, you want to have marriage, and you just want it to be with him. You want to be with him for the rest of your life. You don't want it to be you, him, and Juanita from down the block for the rest of your lives.
That was
Like,
so dead. That was so Hispanic of you.
sorry, the Hispanic came out because I got a little angry.
Juanita from down the block. Oh, that is great. That is
but
great.
yeah, and it's about respecting yourself. And in the long run, if you stay with him and you guys keep up the same charade 5 years down the road or whatever, you're just gonna keep suffering. And if let's say you do get married, he caves in and you guys get married, the fact that he said you're not sexually experienced enough to keep him monogamous is a red flag, and it's gonna haunt you for
Huge red flag at
rest of
that.
your life or the rest of your relationship. And I don't know if you're willing to work, if you guys talk about it and you guys are okay, you get married and then you're willing to not be monogamous. I don't know, that's on you, but I know that I can't. I will never share my
Me
boyfriend
neither.
or husband with anybody
I
like
be whooping Juanita's butt up and down that block.
exactly. Like, think about that. Like, are you really okay with sharing him? Because that's literally what he wants.
I
this
think we have to wrap it up in saying, like, I'm sorry, homegirl, but if you came to us to give you some hope, unfortunately, we cannot give you any hope because there is no hope in what he is telling you. And
yeah.
I hope that this wasn't too rough or too, sometimes, we can be a little too raw, but we're not trying to hurt your feelings. I mean, we genuinely care about all of yous, and we appreciate you reaching out to us and asking us for advice. And we hope that in some way this can help you figure out what you really want, or what's your next move. And we hope that whatever decision you make is for the best, and whatever decision you do make, just know that we support you.
Yeah, and if you want, I know this was a hard one. This was a hard one for me too because I don't like I know what it's like to be a woman and holding on to that hope and thinking like you're going to change him and everything, or hoping that things will change. But this is like as real as it gets. And when you're getting the same advice or you're getting the same feedback from multiple people, it's time to really just take a look at yourself and reflect on your life.
Mm.
And I do appreciate you writing to us. I hope that we helped. And if we did, I would love to hear back from you, a message or anything from you saying, telling us if we helped you or if we didn't. So whatever it is, like you're not going to hurt our feelings. You can be raw back with us, and I would love that. I would just like to get like a follow-up from you. And hopefully you don't hate us after this podcast.
Word.
but with that um but with that, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for sending your letter again. And to all the other listeners, if you guys have something you want to vent or need advice on anything, we're here to hear you out. We want to be closer to you guys,
Yes.
and you don't have to tell us your name. We can keep it private, we can keep it anonymous, because I know I'm a very private person, so I
Me
totally
too.
understand. You can send it to our email, which is askus@stooptea.com. So that's ask@stooptea.com.
Yeah, yeah. And you can follow us on our Instagram for some episode highlights and to actually see my funny faces and funny reactions to certain things. You could follow us on our Instagram at the Stu T, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out our video highlights at the Stu T. We really appreciate all of you guys. We love you guys, and we just want to flat out thank you.
Thank you guys. And I really hope that you all have a wonderful night or day whenever
Bye.
you hear the episode.